Yes, I can see you. Can you see me?
Yes, they can't see you yet though. And it just has your YouTube name on there, right? So that's no big deal. You already used that, right? Okay, now let me pull this up and put you on screen here.
Yo.
Now, okay, let me resize it a little bit here.
I'll try not to move too much.
No, you're fine. Now, I've known Ruby for a long time now. What, like 5 years maybe? I don't know, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, since I think the Jesse interview was, I say Jesse like he's an old friend, the Jesse interview. That was in like 2020, so it's been like 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since we've linked up to do content, so I'm excited.
It has been a while. One of my favorite shows we did, it's not widely available for consumption. I think I might have put it up on BitChute at one point because it was for Patreon. And we talked about addiction, actually, is what we talked about. And we had a lot of commonalities, some on some differences too, but a lot in common. I've
been rooting for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I always root for you. You've been rooting for me
too. You've seen like my Twitter psychotic episodes now. You've seen the full cycle.
Yeah. And I often feel like, and of course, this is not going to be the main thrust of this conversation, although I'd like to do another show like that. But
yeah, absolutely.
Often feel like people can't really understand addiction unless you're an addict.
Even if you're an addict, it's hard to understand.
It's true
because it's dysfunctional. It's illogical. You're doing something despite all evidence, and you're overriding your instinct for life preservation. It's fascinating. So I like talking to other addicts, and it helps you kind of understand the condition and understand like what works for different people. Like I call myself Cali sober now. I just drink like Bud Light and smoke weed. My weed pen just died though, so I might have to be even less Cali sober. Tragically.
My whole thing is, weed. I smoked weed for years, and I don't smoke now. But weed, like, it weakens my resolve somewhat, and so that's why I really can't even have that, unfortunately. Even though weed kind of helps me chill out and doesn't really have any ill effects besides on my lungs. It does weaken my resolve where, I could go months with just smoking weed or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm smoking a little weed. I can have a beer, I can have a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
I have problems with alcohol.
Sometimes it just works like that. Like for me, luckily I was so like weird and solitary and like my fentanyl use that I don't really have this huge temptation, but I'm on methadone too, so I can't really even take that much credit,
Yeah. And so yeah, I don't know. It does weaken my resolve somewhat. I am a proponent of weed. I know my whole chat pretty much hates weed, but I mean,
it definitely makes me dumber. I took there's this online IQ test everyone was taking, and the first time I took it, I got like 120, and they're probably bullshit, whatever. I was like, okay, I like that. And then I took it again, and I've been smoking weed every day this summer because I lost my job and got a huge tax refund. So it was just like this great vacation up until recently. Things got pretty dark. So, but I was just smoking like every day, except like, just all the time in the world. And that was quite nice. But yeah, I took the IQ test and I was 20 points lower.
It does lower your IQ. Yeah.
20 points.
Yeah, it will do that. And
I'm so lazy. Like it does.
It can demotivate you. Yeah. And me on a show like on weed is like totally different. Like I'm like, I don't know. It's a different personality. It's harder for me to get like, go full Ralpha Male and do one of my rants and all that stuff because I'm chilled out on weed. And so yeah, it's a lot different. But okay. So you're here to talk about the Thorps, and I'm going to tweet this out, by the way, and remind people about it. But let me see. I think I'll quote tweet what I posted earlier. Tell me how you met the Thorps.
So the Thorps first came on my radar, I think around the time whenever they were like doing Destiny interviews and talking to like Mr. Girl, because I would like peripherally watch those channels. And then I watched like the Shamu documentary. I was like, damn, this shit is bizarre. But like I also found them to be quite charming and endearing. And I've had a fucked up family too. So I related to them. And Grace pops up just like on my Twitter feed. And I was like, oh, maybe she would be someone I can interview for my show, because I've been interviewing people and having people on. And we could talk about our weird homeschooling upbringing, because we have that in common. So that's how we got in contact. And we just and they invited me on like their dating show and really liked how I did on it. So we just started collaborating a lot, and we all got along great, except for how Ben treats Grace was always an issue. I could talk about it, but I had to toe a line, because if you're too hard on Ben, Grace, they go like shut down. So it was like this weird thing, but it wasn't that bad at first. But this week, once he sensed that she was really thinking about staying with me for a while, he really decided it was time to burn the bridge. So,
all right. I have a long history with the Thorps, and
you guys enemies. I was like,
yeah,
I never even got the real, the lore on that.
Well, she basically, I had her on the show as a feature on the show, and she would come on. She's quite charming. She can be.
Yeah, she's great. She's so much potential. Literally makes me want to break shit. She's blowing it.
I said that. I mean, I won't deal with her anymore, or her father. But we had some great shows and some funny shows, and I know how to. Pretty experienced at this, right? And so I know all the old bits, and she would come on, and you did the old talk show bit where she would flirt with me, and the talk show host is like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like the old Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, I liked your dynamic interacting too. I thought you guys had like a cool dynamic.
Yeah. And then we would do like dances at the end, and I had her in a debate, and we did a wild dance with Adam Green and all this stuff. So we had some great shows. But the problem is, she like burned the bridge with me for no reason, and of course I'm the type of guy who doesn't really take that very kindly, right? And especially when I was promoting her, and her best stuff was really on this show, if I'm telling the truth. And I think Ben Thorp probably had something to do with that. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm
noticing a pattern. So
yeah, well, and I talked to them off air, actually, a long conversation, and I was like, you guys really shouldn't be on air together. Ben can be entertaining on his own in his wild,
I know.
way.
The funniest thing of all is like I was the biggest Ben ball washer like this whole time. I was actually really helping their image, by being, oh look, they actually met up with a streamer and didn't immediately burn the bridge. Wow. And like they're, doing normal-esque things, it's like there's so much great potential there. But he just doubled down on the verbal abuse, and then decided to go full claws out at me. And then, everything was escalating after I saw Grace with the black eye. So it was like,
and we'll get into that. Not yet though. And he's like, basically, I want you to be her manager, and push her. I tried to put her on the Dick show, and she didn't. She didn't show up.
But she would do great in this like environment that you're connected to.
Right,
she thrives in it.
It's like I have,
good.
I'm lucky to, I've had my own controversies, so to speak. But, I'm lucky to have some good friends. And, Dick was down to have her on the show, and she totally skipped out on that. And I'm like, why? Like, what the fuck? That's just total missed opportunity.
That's a pattern, too. Totally skipping out on huge opportunities last minute.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not gonna, you can't, you're still a small channel, man. You can't really be going around and acting like that if you're trying to build something. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, and I was disappointed in her. I was like, why did you do it? Like, why didn't you go? Like, you should have showed up. And she had all these reasons or whatever. And whatever. Anyway, I was still having her on big shows, and then she goes on this rant about me, and I forget what she said about me, but it was offensive to me, and I said some things back to her, and then they tried to a-log me or whatever, and I've had them back on. I tried to have them back on a couple times since, but they're just not trustworthy people, and they always stab you in the back, basically. And so
I was hoping that was like, because people say a lot of shit online. People say shit about you. People say a lot of shit. So it's like I never know what to believe, you know, and also like their personalities are so eccentric naturally. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, and but to the private conversation, I skipped that part. I said you guys should be separate, and Grace should do her thing. You should do your thing, and it could be successful that way. But together and the whole incest leaning into that angle, that doesn't
there's
sell.
not a market. No, unless you want to go on Pornhub, there's not a market for that on YouTube.
Yeah, dude, that's not something. And people really, I don't know what you think. People really think they fuck each other, and so
I don't think. Well, I can say this. There's like a clinical term for it. It's called an enmeshed relationship, and it's when the child is taking on a parentified role, and then the relationship between like father and daughter, those boundaries get blurred and they become almost in like a wife role.
Yes.
And it seems like they have a romantic relationship. I never saw anything sexual though. Also, I never felt unsafe with Ben. It was really all just towards Grace, you know, like, but I never saw anything about them having sex, except they do sleep in the same bed, and there's like no boundaries that you would have normally with a daughter.
Well, you shouldn't sleep in the same bed with your 21-year-old daughter, 22, however old she is now. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, maybe if she, had a rough night or whatever, or something like, you know what I mean? Or somebody had died or some tragedy, right? And she needed, that type of closeness, like she was a child again or whatever. That might be one thing, but you definitely shouldn't sleep in the same bed with your 22-year-old daughter on the nightly.
The first night we met up, Grace slept in the bed with me, and we slept together in the bed for like most of the first trip I went on with them. I hung out with them a lot this summer, but the first like big like trip I went like Mohegan Sun and to Provincetown with them, I was sleeping in the same bed with Grace. And then after that, Ben was like furious with Grace because he felt like she was acting different and wouldn't sleep in the bed with him and like was embarrassed of their relationship. And it's like, that is so bizarre for a dad to be taking on that angle, you know? And I got kind of like used to a lot of the bizarreness, but like when you look at it all laid out together, it's not a good situation no matter what.
Yeah, and that's weird, Ruby. I don't know what to say. And
absolutely weird.
And it lends credence to, I mean, what you just said lends credence to a sexual component or at least a very, very unhealthy component.
I can't see in the sex. I'm not
saying for you to say that, but you could see why people think that when you say something like that, right?
I'm still a little defensive of them because I know how hurtful it is for Grace to deal with like the online hate and stuff not that she's like weeping over it. She's mauled every day, but like, I don't know. I just don't want to seem like I'm, in any way saying that I believe that because I just didn't see anything. No,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm sexual. Not asking you to.
And there's a lot of rumors, and it seems plausible that Ben's dick doesn't even work. So I don't know if it's really possible. Because who sends limp dick pics?
I've never heard of that, but he does do that. Yeah. And this is unsettling. Someone just sent in as a super chat.
This is unsettling.
And I didn't know that factoid myself about them sleeping in the same bed every night. So anyway, I told them they needed to separate. And they kind of listened to me. And my producer at the time was like, "Don't have them on together. Only have Grace on, only have Ben on. They both have their own uses."
They do, and I love Ben solo too. Like he can be great. He can be very hilarious and charismatic and outrageous. And I just think they both would just do better on different channels. You could still collab. Like But this whole
No, they
24 hours,
don't
they
collab.
live together, work together, like everything, 24 hours together. Like all this burning of a bridge happened because Grace was at my house for 3 hours.
This I know. Wait. Before we get ahead of ourselves, hold on. We're gonna get into everything, but when they're together, it turns people off because they leaned into the incest angle, whether they did that or not, or do that or not. They leaned into it and made it a joke and tried to use that to get popularity or notoriety or whatever. That's not the type of notoriety that you want. That you're having sex with, possibly having sex with your child. That's not the type of notoriety you want. And I would say if I was to do a poll in the chat or a poll on Twitter, most people would say that had happened, right? That's the
thing. They don't care. They like I was telling Ben, like when we were talking the other day, like, don't you realize that 99.99999% of people are going to look at your relationship and say this is totally insane? And he's like, well, that's they said about Jesus Christ, and I'm like, dude, you're not Jesus on the cross, dude. Like, you are just a dude who's beating up his daughter. Like, the fuck.
Yeah, and we'll get into that too, but and kind of listened to me, but eventually she cut that promo on me and said like that I was like attached to her or whatever, too attached to her or whatever the fuck she said.
She said like clingy. I remember vaguely hearing some.
That is what she said. Yeah, and it was like, no, I was trying to help her actually, and so she said that, and then I said a few things, and then it, pretty much relationship broken in terms of working relationship. And then I never tried to fuck her or anything like that, although a lot of people said that I did, and there's all that.
I mean, she's beautiful. There was when I first messaged her, there was a part of me that was like, she's just really pretty too. Like, I'm mostly straight, but part of me was like, wow, she's really hot. But like once you like know all the dark, it's hard to think of her in like a sexual way once you like have all the others.
Well, I was trying to help like her career, like, and give her a spot on the show, right? Like, she was a thing on the show. Like, it was a character, quote unquote, a recurring guest on the show. And so anyway, I felt like I had done her a lot of favors, and for her to say that, I didn't take it very well. And then, she said some other things, and then it's like, fuck you, bitch. And so anyway, I had him back on, I guess it was, I don't know, earlier this year maybe. And I had Ben on, and he had just like kicked her or whatever. I think it was around that time. And, he had all these excuses and all this stuff. And
what was his excuse? That it was a bit?
It was a push or something. I don't know. I forget what he said now. It was a bunch of bullshit.
We all have seen it. I had to do some real mental gymnastics to be okay hanging out with him after seeing the kick video. And, so I had some, I wanted to give Ben the benefit of the doubt. But after the Porch Grace incident, it's just,
Yeah, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But so I had him on. I talked to him just normally, about that and about some other things for like 90 minutes. I don't know. It was a long time.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Grace wants to come on, and she wants to apologize. She's got some things to say to you. And then she came on, and then she started cutting a promo on me. Well, I just cut her off the call, basically.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I cut her off the call.
Where are the manners?
Yeah, I cut her.
Social skills. They criticized my social skills. Are you kidding me, bro?
Well, and I was actually, I would have amended the defense, right? Like, I'm that type of person, but I won't now because I'm not going to, you burn me twice. I won't get burned a third time.
Right. And you can only be, like, I was, even after, I won't get into too much, but I was like willing, I'll let you burn me. I deal with crazy, eccentric people, so I forgive quickly and forget,
Yeah, well, I can get past a lot.
Consistently is just seeking to harm you, of course.
And Shamu's
leeching from you.
And Shamu's in chat, and he says, once you try to help Grace in any way that gets her away from her father, he will put an end to that very quickly.
As we all saw.
And that is very true. But she came on and then she started, cutting a promo. Well, I just ended the call because I wasn't going to give her that clip, right? And so I was like, fuck, give me that clip. I'm not going to blood sport you. And then I DM'd her and I was like, nice try, bitch. And that's the last conversation I think that we've had. There was
the combo.
Oh no, that's not true. We had one other one.
I remember that combo. Because I was just starting to talk to Grace more and go on her dating show and stuff around the time of the dogs and the drones. And initially my name was on that live stream because she used like a link for our interview that we were going to do. So that was like absolutely bizarre to watch unfold live.
Yeah, and I forget actually now what all that was about.
It was for violating a no contact order.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I said Ben was going to go to jail.
Court, mandated that they could not see each other, but they can't spend a minute apart, even if it results in jail time.
That's right, and I forgot I popped on there,
which is kind of weird.
And we had a back and forth, and he is going to end up going to jail for that. And it's not because. Of you can have I've experience with orders of that nature. And so, there's like levels to this shit. There's, you said something online that they told you couldn't say. You contacted them when you weren't supposed to. Those are lower level type things, right? Especially if it's the first time. And almost never will you like go to jail for that or anything. Maybe they put you on probation for a few months or they fine you for contempt or whatever. Here, hold on. I'll let this go through.
Hot.
I don't know if you can hear this.
This is so fucking hot. Please talk more about how they sleep in the same bed. This is just what I needed to say.
In the same bed.
Get your hands off your dick, buddy. Okay? This is not that kind of convo.
That totally threw me. What was I just saying?
Dude, you're asking the pothead to remember 5 seconds ago. Come on, man. Don't do it to me. We were talking about how they violated the no contact order.
Yeah. Okay. And so I said, well, he's definitely going to go in for that eventually. And turns out Rhode Island was going to drop it, but they didn't know about the violation in Massachusetts, and then they brought it back. And so I don't know what's going on with it now. Shamu would know more than me.
It's got court dates up the wazoo, but I do know he will not take any legal representation because he thinks he knows better than any lawyer, obviously. So he's representing himself in all of whatever cases he has, his divorce case and all these legal cases.
Yeah, and he I think he's like $900 a month for like 4 or 5 kids or something like that.
He doesn't pay anything.
He doesn't pay, and I'm like, dude, I won't discuss the number that I pay for one, but he's getting off very lightly, is all I will say.
You know what they do? They have all the money that they make from the channel goes into Grace's thing. Sometimes it's like around $4K a month or something. And then Ben will manically spend all of it in 3 days on bullshit. It seems to be like if he thinks that the account is always at 0, he won't owe. I don't know what.
What they'll eventually do is put him in jail. Is what they'll do.
Exactly.
And so
because I talked to Grace that she doesn't even know if he wants custody of the kids. So I'm like, what are you even fighting for? You have this big legal case. You don't even know what you want from it. Like,
well,
he's homeless and unemployed.
Well, and the thing is, you can be behind on payments, but if you're showing you're making an effort and you're paying when you can and this and that, I know a little something about this. And so, they're not going to put you in jail because that'll just stop you from being able to pay, right? Like they don't want to do that. And I have another situation I won't get into, but luckily I have 2 different situations, but one of them I can't talk about. One of them I can. I had a big kerfluffle, I guess you could say, concerning my son and that family and all that. And things have been getting on better terms. I'm gonna go see him later this month, and been seeing him a lot more lately.
How old is he now?
He's 3 years old now.
Oh, that's such a cute age.
Yes, she can't show him. It's part of the agreement as well. But he resembles me a lot, I'll say. Not that he doesn't have any of his mother in him either, but we got together, and not to get into my personal details or drag her stuff out here in the street too much, but I'm complimenting her. We decided to stop the back and forth fighting, and it's been better for everyone. For instance, last visit, I was late because of traffic from Tijuana to San Diego, and it was a nightmare. And the way it works, she only had to stay for 20 minutes, all right, and then she could just leave and didn't have to let me see my son, right? Because that's the stipulation, and with that place. And so but she didn't, she stayed. And so thankfully I still didn't get the full visit, but I got to see him for about half the visit, and it went really well, and she didn't have to do that. And back in the day, she might not have done that. Right. And so things can get better on that front. There's another front I have, I won't get into this, not like that, but not necessarily concerning any children, I'll say, for reasons, but I don't know what he's thinking, because you can get behind on child
Delusions
support.
Of grandeur.
They'll put his ass in jail.
Delusions of grandeur.
They will put his ass in jail eventually. Like
I know. That's why they accused me of calling the cops on them, because I mentioned that he'd be in jail, and I placed bets about who's going to be in jail first, me or Ben, and we all know.
It's going to be him. I mean, I'm just telling you, and he's getting off light, $900 for.
And not from any phone calls from me, even though I would never do anything that Grace didn't want to happen. I want to respect her agency, the situation, and whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, and we'll get into the porch stuff and the black eye in a second, but, not paying your child support, I mean, you can be behind on it. You can, be to a certain level, but as long as you're working
Anonymous
towards
$3,
catching
I'm
up.
working my meat RN thinking about
God.
Grace.
So
The
I'm
stepsister shit
working
is so
my meat right
pedestrian.
now,
I
thinking
see
about
myself
Grace.
as a more
The stepsister
cultured
shit is so
gentleman.
pedestrian.
Say what
See
you want
myself as
about
more
him,
cultured
but he's looking
gentleman.
out
Say
for
what
her.
you want about him, but he's
Yeah.
looking out for her. Yeah. Cute.
Yeah, wild super chat there. But as long as you're showing you're working towards catching back up and making payments, and
He's not. He has no.
That's what I'm saying. He's not doing any of that. And so that ain't gonna work. And speaking from experience,
He just got kicked out of his forced battery class.
Right. And I live in Mexico. I don't know if you know that or not. I think I told you, but I live in Merida in the Yucatan. And they can get your ass in Mexico too. There's agreement between the United States and Mexico. People, try to troll me and say, "Oh, I came down here to escape child support or whatever," and you can't escape child support in Mexico. There are some countries like Venezuela or somewhere I could probably, not probably, you can, but not in Mexico. They have agreements specifically with the state of California, but the whole United States, where they can get into your funds in Mexico, and they can, tap into that. And so that's not a thing. Like, I didn't move to Mexico to escape child support, because that doesn't work. And so there really is no escape unless you want to go to Cuba or Venezuela or
he wants to go. He said he's happy to be in jail because he says being with Grace is like being stuck in a 24-hour horror movie. And when he's in jail, he feels safe and protected behind the bars from Grace. And he tells her basically if she doesn't spoon feed him and collect his piss every day, he's going to shrivel up and die somewhere or go to jail. He puts that in her. That's how he manipulates her, because it's like, do whatever I say or I'm going to die, basically.
Well, look, I've been to jail, and the audience knows, and you may know, I had to do 8 months in jail one time for a bullshit incident, but I got away with a lot too, so I kind of take it in stride, right?
Right.
You know,
Sometimes you just gotta take it. You're just like,
it's
you know,
almost
I
like,
got lucky in the long
yeah, it's almost
game,
like,
so
well, okay, this
let's
was
just
complete
take it.
bullshit, but I got away with a lot,
Yeah,
and so
yeah, I
it's
had a good
karma.
run. Let's just
Yeah, it's kind of karma for the other shit, but
yeah. You just gotta take it on the chin.
jail is terrible. Like I don't know anybody who would think that way about being in jail. They treat you like an animal. You're locked in a box, literally.
Yeah, it depends on the jail and the city.
Well, I
the
mean,
state,
you know, jails can be
lot.
better. Jails, I mean, certain jails are better than others, but jail sucks. I don't know anybody who wants to go to jail.
But for him, if they would feed him 3 meals a day, he wouldn't have to do anything. You know, and that's where he's at. He said just from this divorce, he has no more like life force left in him.
Well, I feel so bad for him.
The biggest victim of all.
You know, and I could talk about some things like I'm going through some things myself that you know, I consider certain entities trying to break me, basically, in certain ways that can't talk about actually. But you know, I'm still here persevering. Like his woe is me bullshit. Like that doesn't fly with me at all. Like I'm
rebuilding my life from scratch, right? Like you can't, come on, at a certain point, like if you want to have dignity as a human being, you need to pull your own way and not leech off your daughter. It's really pathetic.
I see Shamu says she collects his pee in jugs, or she did for weeks when he was feeling depressed and his back was hurting. Like, so
Yep.
okay, now wait. What? Okay. That would necessitate him pissing in a jug in front of her, right? Like, I mean,
no boundaries.
Like, what in the world?
I know. It's like, imagine being so lazy you're having your daughter like collect your piss.
Well, also you have your dick out in front of your daughter. That doesn't exactly beat the allegations. You know what I mean? Right? Like everything you're saying is just lending credence to the incest angle, and it's like that's
so hard for me to believe because it's so.
Well, I don't want to believe it either, and I didn't for the longest, and I'm still not sure that I do. But like I lean a lot more that direction now than I used to. I used to just think it was a gimmick and they're fucking around, but now it's like.
But the thing is, there is a thing called like enmeshment, and it happens in traumatized families that, like, you know, it's a codependent relationship. So, you know, it's at minimum that, you know, and I hope it's not anything beyond that. But there is an explanation that doesn't involve sexual incest. I will just say that, like, it just because they are so codependent doesn't mean that they are having sex. I have strong reason to believe that Ben does not have a functioning penis anyway.
No. Okay. Well, I wouldn't be a good interviewer if I didn't follow up on that. What is your strong reason to believe that?
Nothing as spicy as people would want to believe, but like between all the flaccid dick pics, and also there was like one night I was like sitting on his lap. You'd think you'd get a chub or something. Nothing. So I'm convinced he's either fully gay or the dick don't work.
Well, yeah, I've never, and the flaccid dick pic, I've never heard of that.
No one takes the flaccid. I mean, at the time, I was giving him some coke.
Anonymous sent $3.
My shit is creamy right now. It's so fucking hot. Tell me more, Ruby. I'm busted.
I'm busted.
That was so hot.
All right, so you were giving him some cope. What does that mean? I think you said cope.
Oh yeah, like me and my friends were reviewing like the dick pic and like kind of saying like, in a way it's kind of masculine to just be like, you know, my dick is not a monkey that performs for you. Like, I just take a pic of my dick out. And also in the background of the dick pic, he was watching a video of me and Grace, just to add, you know, that actually adds that it makes it, his dick was not hard while watching us on video.
Well, I think I heard about that from Shamu, and the angle was he had his dick out while Grace was on the screen as well. And again, not these are not good things, Ruby.
No.
I don't know what to say to you. Like,
I know, dude. I know. I fucking know. And guess what? I like actually, whether I'm stupid or not, I do actually care about these people, even Ben, after all this, because I really got to, we spent a lot of time together this summer, and they both have a lot of charming, great qualities and are so fun to hang out with. We had a lot of fun collaborating. We had similar vibes for content that we were doing, and we were doing like a speed dating show, and things were great until the idea came up of Grace spending a night at my house. It wasn't even about a full separation. It was just about taking time apart. That was too much.
Yeah, well, he wants full control over her, and yeah, somebody just plugged your channel and asked if that was okay, and I said sure. Yeah, Ruby's awesome.
Oh yeah, of course.
Definitely plug her channel.
Yeah, look at Ruby Spacek.
Yes, for sure.
That's my name.
Yeah, Ruby's been on the show. It's been a while, but yeah, she's been on the show a lot, and I will say, I told her, once I saw her getting in with the Thorps, I messaged her. I messaged you, and I said,
how delicious was that tweet for you? It must have been a little delicious.
It was a little delicious. It must have been
just like a little
I went back to a tweet I'd sent her.
It's so dark, but I just know when you warn someone, you're proof right. It's tasty.
I said, I don't want to say I told you so, yeah, but I quoted a tweet where I told her so. It was a DM. It was a DM, and I was like, I don't want to say I told you so, but
you fucking did. Like our last conversation, I think you had warned me
I just said be careful
multiple times.
I did. I warned you multiple times, and I didn't want to see you get
Yeah.
Ben's a dangerous individual, and I knew it would end in some kind of flame out, but I didn't want to see you get hurt either.
Yeah, and I can see why I guess he is a danger. It's so hard for me to reconcile from the Ben that I was hanging out with all summer, but he's on video being violent multiple times. So I don't know why I feel so especially exempt, aside from the fact that his animosity seems more family oriented, and I never was really a big bother. Does the guest have lockjaw, or is she insecure about her teeth? Never seems to open her mouth all the way asking for a friend. I don't know, man. Thanks for giving me a new weird thing to be insecure about. What do you mean? Am I trying not to move my mouth in a certain way? This is how I talk, dude. I don't know, man. I'm on methadone. I have a methadone accent. I don't know what you want.
Thanks for giving me a new insecurity. It's one of my favorite lines.
Dead ass. Dead ass. I never now I'm gonna I can't. She's regular on the show. On she doesn't get bothered by chat. She speaks clearly and to the point. Rare female
she
W.
Doesn't get bothered by the chat.
I love a little heat. I actually really do like a little heat. Getting roasted is fun.
Yeah, well, Ruby's always.
How can I survive being on Thorp TV for the last, 4 months when the audience hated me because they saw me as enabling Ben. Now they love me, and I got took a bunch of their subs away and a bunch of their viewers away.
Good.
Because they saw how they turned
I will say, I want to have sympathy for Grace, but I don't, because she snaked me multiple times. I still maybe 1% of me that wants to, just because I know she's fucked up, and Ben's
so young,
behind all this.
People say it's over for her, and it's like, come on, she's fucking 21. Her life hasn't even started yet, dude. It's just it would be cool if she could, be the one who is gets out and has this overcoming victory narrative instead of waiting for daddy to go to jail and then waiting for someone to save you.
I don't know, man. It's a nasty business, and you can only snake me so many times before I don't give a fuck what happens to you. And I know that sounds cold, but that's just how I've had to.
I want to hurt you.
Huh?
Why waste your time with people who want to harm you?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's
why?
And especially somebody, you try to help a lot. And it's I still there's heat there, for sure. Because I put a lot of time into trying to promote her, and separate her and make her own thing. And, didn't work. Now, okay. We talked enough about that, and some of the background. talk about the black eye specifically and the porch incident and what all happened there.
So I think this was just like about exactly a week ago, maybe last Sunday. I woke up and I just started doing a live stream on my phone, just like smoking a cigarette. And like I was going to go for a walk and get coffee. And I walk on my door and I like my phone, it cuts out for a second because the Wi-Fi, it was connected to like the 5G. But then you see like Grace, I like saw Grace crouching on my porch, like so that the cars going by wouldn't see her in that kind of way. And my brain couldn't even register like why that would be, you know. And I was live streaming, so I was just like, hey, like look who I just ran into. And then like I did a thing of us and the thing, and I could see like her thing, a face was all like green and her eye was swollen, like she'd just gotten
punch,
like hit in the face hard.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, what are you doing? And I wish I'd taken her back up to my apartment because it didn't sink in what was going on until, you know, we were already back in Ben's car because it all happened so fast. I found her. We walked down. I see the eye. I asked her about it and she completely denies it. Even though I'm looking at a busted eye, green all over her face, like it's unambiguous. I am 100% certain that I saw her with bruising on her face. Positive. So to boldface lie when it's on fucking video, I don't know why she went that route. Now everyone looked up the video and has all the pics. So it's like, what are you gonna do, man?
Then there's this clip where or go ahead, no, finish your narrative.
Oh yeah, well I was gonna say like, so she's like, oh, what were you doing? I was like, I'm just gonna go for a walk and like get coffee or something. And then before she can even like, and she was like mentioning I got in a fight with my dad and she was acting weird. So I'd like shut off the live stream because I was like, I didn't know what was going on. And her dad pulled up and we just like went in the car and like they just started trying to kind of normal, but I could tell like something really weird went down. And they're like, Ruby, can you like adjudicate a fight for us? Like, Grace, set up a Discord call. Like, because he thinks that the answer for everything is streaming your problems and having like the audience. It's so the opposite of
yes, I know. Hilarious. Believe me, I know.
It's literally the opposite of reality. I cannot think of a worse way. Whatever. Anyway, but I get they do that. And I take people into a lot of my life too. So whatever. I like.
Yeah, I do too. But there's been a lot of times where I've wished I hadn't done that. Including recently. But. You know, you get to talking all the time for a living or whatever. So, you know, it comes out. But that is his philosophy. I'm aware of that. Yeah.
I actually haven't told anyone of this before because I totally forgot. But like when we were like driving around thinking of where to go to like do the stream of me adjudicating their fight, we go to a McDonald's and Ben stays in the car. And like, you know, I'm kind of hoping that Grace will say something because I don't know what the right move is here. Her eye is obviously fucked up. Something's not right. She's saying it's not like that. So when we're in McDonald's ordering, I said, Grace, I can order an Uber right now and we could leave. Like, I'll order an Uber. Like, we can just go. Like, I don't know what happened, but she's like, oh, no, it's fine. And she just denied everything. And like, so we go up to a park and she puts on like a hat and glasses and we bring out the whiteboard and we have some psycho stream. You know, where, you know, I'm telling Ben straight up, like, yeah, I do find you to be abusive to her. And I think separation is the solution. He's like, hallelujah, I want separation. So the night they come to drop her off at my house, Ben starts making comments like, what am I going to eat? I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner. I guess I'll just, where am I going to sleep? He like started acting like he doesn't know how to live without her. Yeah. And she starts getting cold feet from that and starts crying hysterically and says, I don't know what to do. I already ruined it. Because she knew her dad was to be mad at her all night, no matter what. And God knows what else is going to happen. And she had the eye at this point. So I'm hardcore pressuring, like one step below grabbing her out of the fucking car. I'm like saying, I really, really, really think you should come with me tonight. Like, I just think you should. And in the end, she stayed with her dad. And then
that's always the end of the story with them. Yeah.
And then there was another stream we did. And she just had like, they went back to Warren. She canceled the whatever podcast interview she was supposed to do for, I'm assuming because she had a black eye. She did do another stream after that where she like put makeup on and said
I
like, "Oh,
saw
I'm
it.
sorry, I look like an abuse victim."
And then she said, "Oh, I did my mascara like this, and I know I look like this." And it's like, well, you could have just changed your mascara if you
Yeah.
knew that, right? Like that doesn't even it
She's
logically
not
make
fooling
sense.
anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't
I'm almost
logically make sense.
insulted by the lack of effort. Like,
Right, like yeah.
put on some
I've said that
concealer,
before too. It's like
bitch.
I'm always more insulted by a bad lie.
I know.
Right? It's like you're
No
insulting my
effort.
intelligence with your
Literally.
lie. And it's like, well, if you knew your mascara was like that, well, you could have just changed it, right? You could have just fixed it, but you had a black eye. That's why you couldn't.
So,
fix
like,
it.
my story is highly corroborated. I would never make something like that up. Plus, I didn't want this bridge to burn, but they took it to that level, and I was really towing the line with Ben and like letting a lot of stuff slide, so I could be a support to Grace and probably like gradually kind of get her to separate a little more and just whatever. It just seemed like the right move at the time. And it didn't work out.
Mr. Mans in the chat says Ruby's a nice girl, and I agree with that. And then says and totally skipping over the part where Ben was straight up insulting her to her face to the point she had to leave the room the night before.
Well, that's coming up.
Okay.
They're out of order.
Okay.
We hang out a lot. A lot has happened this week. Okay. So they show up at my house. Oh, by the way, they just show up at my house all the time. That was a thing. Anyway, they show up at my house as they do. And they're like, "Hey, are you free today?" Like, and I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "Okay, well, we're here." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." They come over, but they get like pizza and beer. We're smoking. I have nothing going on anyways. We're streaming, maybe make some money. And it was all at first. It was just me and Grace. We went and we were like plotting, and she was actually writing in a notebook. I still have it right here. Family legal stuff. No contested divorce. No visitation. No custody. Restraining order. Child support. 2030. Uncontested visitation. She's like writing down what she wanted to happen from her, like what she wants to happen with the divorce, with her living situation, with her dad. We were going with her career. We were going over it, and it seemed like great progress. So of course, when Ben came back that night after me and Grace being alone for a couple hours, making progress, Ben came in and for like an hour was like making jabs at how I'll never be a mother. And it's like, okay, dude, I get it. Like I make jabs at that all the fucking time. It's like a running joke we've been doing. But he was in my house, sitting on my couch, just jabbing at me for like an hour, and the video got clipped because it was just like, I'm not insulted because the fact that I might not have kids. I didn't want kids until like a year ago anyway, but like it's just the fact that he was trying to harm me, obviously. Like, why? And it's clear I got too close to Grace. She started thinking independently. She made some serious fucking progress and was about to start separating. So he had to go scorched earth, but it didn't even work because I just don't give a fuck. So they came back the next day to go even more scorched by doing like a real struggle session where we sit down and Ben does some weird, like tries to like hone in on some irrelevant thing I said and like do weird logical puzzles around that to evade any relevant points. It's like, come on, dude, everyone sees. Anyway, and that happened. And at one point I looked at Grace and she was just lying to my face, and I looked at her eyes. She wasn't there. And I said, "Fuck this. I'm not doing your fucking struggle session. It's fucking gay. This is weird. I know this is your Looney Tune shit. I'm out." And I told Grace, anytime, come back. I don't care what burn video you do. Go ahead. I really don't care. I'll forgive you in a minute. If you can cut this guy. And I said, "Oh yeah." And it's like, stop punching her. That was a cute black eye.
Yeah.
Because I was hiding. I felt like I was hiding and at a certain point almost enabling abuse. Now that's why I was getting a lot of shit. But like, once it became absolutely unambiguous in my face, like, yeah, that didn't last long.
So what has happened since then?
Oh, well, naturally, they drove back to New Haven and showed up at my house again to talk to me. And I said, "Nope, I'm good." So, yeah. And then they just sat around and were like walking around my block for like 3 hours. And I guess drove back. I don't know what they thought, why I would want to see them the next day. Like, yeah, I don't know. They're absolutely bizarre. I really do like them, and I had a great time. We had a lot of fun, and it's really upsetting how things played out. And I'm super confused how to negotiate the fact that I really do like Ben with the fact that there is no fucking explanation for why Grace was hiding with the fucking
$1 on Rumble.
smashed
Hey
in.
baby, you
Hey
ain't
baby, you
bad
ain't bad for
recovering
recovering crackhead.
You into
skinheads?
skinheads?
Oi, 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 bitch! You didn't know I'm a sharp? I used to have the fucking what's it called? A Chelsea cut when I was young. Yeah. I liked the foreskin, screwdriver. I used to be onto that weird shit.
Oh, screwdriver. He likes screwdriver.
Only the first album. Only first album. Only the first album. Okay? Do not arrest me.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. Rainbow Six. What that dumb bitch is doing. But thank you for the update. If I had some advice for her, would be to put the gun in her mouth and pull the trigger. And so yeah, no love lost there. Maybe that's a little harsh, Ruby. I don't know, but
I disavow. I don't think it's great to tell people to kill themselves. Ben told me to kill myself along with his daughter just the other day. So I guess that's on the table. Maybe Ben should kill himself.
That would probably be the best.
I don't even know I don't know what the solution is here. I wish that everything was different.
Well,
alas, the Ralpha mail. Once again, he called it.
I called it. I could see it coming. Of course, I've known you
right
for a
off
while.
the bat.
And I was like, I know how this is gonna end.
I thought I was different, and I was. I
knew how this was gonna go. And did you talk to her last night on some stream or something? Or
oh yeah, so much has happened that I can't even keep up. There's been so much streaming flame out. It's showing up at my house and weird shit. I stopped watching their videos on me because it's just why. But yeah, so I did an interview with someone else who's been burned by them, and oh yeah, Grace popped on because it looked like on video she was telling people I told her I sleep with men for money. She's saying she was talking about someone else. It's confusing how she worded it. Whatever. It's not the first time I've been called a whore on the internet. So regardless, I don't care. But yeah, she came on my stream to talk about that and try to say that. She didn't say that. She showed a clip that wasn't very compelling, so I kicked her. And then I went on their Discord this morning. A lot has happened. I forget. I reached out to Ben before this interview to give him a fucking chance to explain why she was on my porch with a bruised face. And he opted not to.
Well, I mean, what would be there is no explanation other
Master
than
33 cent $1 on Rumble.
Slap the shit out of her.
Yeah, baby, you're a sharp too. Skinhead and racially
yeah,
proud
baby,
bitch.
I'm a sharp too. Skinhead and fuck, I missed last part.
And racially proud, he said.
Racially proud. Aren't skinheads sharp? Skinheads hate. I forget what sharps do.
I don't know all the lingo. Myself.
Yeah, I was when I used to be into punk and stuff. There's oi crossover.
Yeah, and let's see. I'm still in there. Myself actually, and I see them. She's doing a press tour. I befriended the Thorps. Turned out they're terrible people. Yeah, that's true. And no, she's not doing a press tour. I've known her for a while. Like I said, and I did reach out and I said, well, I saw the black eye and I saw this and kind of my job to leech off drama. And so I have to ask you to come on the show.
$3 bring her on.
Let's see.
I've changed my jeans 5 times this show. I still don't know what color her nipples are. Yo, hit me up because I'm trying to get fertilized mad quick. So join the Discord, check out the YouTube channel. I am ovulating next week, so we'll talk.
Yeah, apparently they're saying she's drunk. I don't know.
Me?
Not you. No.
Oh, I
you,
wish.
her.
I'm too poor.
No, not you. But yeah, I don't foresee a good ending here. And regardless of my personal feelings, and obviously, I say things for effect. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't care for her, but I wouldn't want her to kill herself or anything. That would make me sad if she.
I don't want to see them on a
advice,
true crime documentary, but it's that's where it's heading. If he's becoming, it seems, less connected to reality. It's starting to seem kind of like a crisis situation. And she just goes along with his delusions of grandeur, even though they make no sense. Like, he thinks that like FBI is on his side to like take out Shamu and like all this crazy shit. It's like, bro.
Well, yeah, he said
and you too.
that they
Yeah,
reported me to the FBI, Medicare apparently, who were blood enemies, which makes no sense. I guess he talked about it too, though, at one point. And Shamu, who they really hate because he's chronicled all their bullshit.
Anonymous
talking about Grace Fatty.
I was talking about Grace Fatty.
Hey,
Actually,
I
Grace,
just lost 30 pounds. You
look,
should have seen me when I was fat. I am on the cusp of being skinny now, so just hang tight.
Grace looks fatter than you actually these days. So I don't know if that's
we actually were like the same size in clothes, but she's taller than me, and I'm not gonna lie, she's fucking beautiful. Like, I do think she's just, as a human, has so much raw potential. It's just like, why? Yeah. And she had so much clarity the other day, and even when her dad was trying to like, come at me for the mom thing, like, she was laughing at him. Me and her were laughing at him. Like, not with him, at him.
Well, I'm sure he loved that.
Well, yeah, we see. Clearly.
So, what did he give you any response earlier today? I don't know if we covered that.
I messaged him and I was just like, straight up, what happened? Like, give me I'm going to talk to Ethan. I've known you for so long, but I still don't know if you prefer Ethan or Ralph. But
most people call me Ralph, but I don't mind people calling me Ethan.
Okay, so yeah, because I was like, I saw your first name is Ethan, but people call you Ralph. But anyway, I mentioned that
ever since all my life, most people have called me Ralph, but it doesn't matter. Loved ones call me Ethan. I've had wives call me that. My mom would call me that, of course. But sometimes people call me Ethan on here. Usually, it's they think it bothers me. I know that's not. I know that's not why you would do it. But no, you can call me Ethan. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. That's name.
I just mentioned. I wanted to give him a chance to like tell me what the fuck happened, and he decided not to. He just started saying everything I said. Here, I don't like leaking. No, I'm not gonna say what he didn't say anything great. He just said I was like kind of fucking with him, and I was like, "Fuck you, you're a fucking pussy." Because he wouldn't respond to it, and he was just saying, "Please cease and desist contact starting now," like as if it's some lawyer thing. He just kept messaging me that on Discord. But then he was like, well, I'm not going to block you, but just like stop. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know. So it was not a very fruitful conversation.
Most combos with him are not fruitful.
And Grace is lying about everything. I don't know how they don't realize that when you just lie, the words stop really landing. Like, you can't. Can only do that for so long, man.
Well, the thing that offended me, the first thing I think I messaged you about was she I guess this was when you were first linking up with him, and I think something else happened that night. Maybe it was the restraining order thing, but they're like interview with a ex junkie or something like that or whatever, and I was like, I didn't like how.
Yeah.
And I didn't like how she had described you in the title, basically, and I messaged you, and I was like, I don't care for that. I don't think that was very respectful.
To her defense, Grace is actually, she's always been fairly considerate with me about, like, I don't know, like, if, like, there was right after we met, she did a stream, she's like, I'm doing a stream just to know we're not, like, burning the bridge or anything. Well, this was back before they burned the bridge. But we were talking about it, and I said, I don't care how you label it, none of these terms offend me. I lean into it.
No, I know you don't care, but I care.
Yeah.
Like I
can see how it's like.
Yeah.
It's not. I can see. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from for sure too. And like, yeah,
well, because I consider you a friend of mine, and I saw that, and I was like, you know what, that's kind of fucked up.
It's not how I would label it.
Yeah.
She's trying to be like clickbaity. I get it.
No, I get it too, but it was like.
But yeah, it is. It's harder for. I had a couple of my friends come on stream and meet the Thorps too, and they all are like deleted their Discords and are never going online again. And they hated how the chat treated me because the chat would drag me, tell me to go overdose. And it's like, it's so funny for everyone else, but like, it's not as funny for my like actual friends and family, It's
Right. And then, of course, it got deeper, and I was like, be careful with these guys, these people. Like, it doesn't look good. And I also said, they have a circle of sharks. Of course, there's a circle of sharks around me, too. But I would say maybe even a harsher circle of sharks around
I
them.
got immediately blackmailed, doxxed, dragged. Yeah, that all happened pretty early on. So all the warnings, but I'm at a point in my life where I just don't have that much to lose. So I was like, I really didn't think Ben would like hurt me, and my intuition was true. Like I said, never felt unsafe around him. He was never even like creepy to me. I never got a creepy vibe. Like, it's just really hard to negotiate it all. But that's how it always is. No one ever, it's everyone. A lot of people who are abusive are also still loved and cherished by people. It's just hard. It's weird situation.
Sure, but I mean, it's his daughter. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's
just not okay. It's just not okay.
It's a weird situation, I won't get into my own personal life. Things can get wild in a relationship or whatever, but it's like they have a relationship that's beyond father-daughter, right? And there's a reason that people think that. First off, they lean into it, and second off, it like comes off that way, right? And it creeps people out.
I mean, they act like they're in a romantic relationship. They fight like they're in a romantic relationship. They argue like they're in a romantic relationship.
Yes.
It has that element. And also they're always referencing like, we've been like, Ben would always be like, I've been doing this with you for 6 years. Like, I'm done. Like, it's over. Like, and he would always say like, I want space, and would like push her to like take space. And then the second she took a step, he punished her for it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, and he always he did the same thing on here too. Like, he always acts like or says he wants her to separate and this and that, and that's actually the last thing that he wants, right? And then he'll turn.
What would he do? He has it made.
Yeah,
he just has to. He literally doesn't have to lift a finger. Grace does everything.
All right, let's see.
Chill Dingo, are you married? Watching you goon in the chat over this mid 30-plus-year-old. Yeah, it's called being a sexy mommy, and the world needs more. So whip your dick out and get comfortable, baby.
Our chat. You haven't been on in a while, but you always go.
This is not. It was so like, I've been dragged through the mud on so many chats so many times. I like it. I'm actually. I mean,
my chat likes you.
Nice
most comments
messages.
are positive towards you. Actually,
I know a couple of people said they were jerking off. I do feel appreciated, but it just doesn't. I don't know. I find it all to be in good fun for the most part.
Yeah, but I would say that you go over pretty well in the chat. And, of course, some people are fucking with you. But, and I see Perspicasti says, no, I legit think she's a nice girl. It says, she seems like a nice girl to try to shelter these rabid animals wandering the streets.
Seriously, I do this. I take them in and try to fix them. This was a tough case, and they out-crazied me. I don't know. I was just in an involuntary psychiatric hold a year ago, and these people are crazier than me. I don't know.
Well, they out crazy everybody, and I've had some crazy moments myself. But at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer. Talk show host. Like, that's what I do, and I take pride in my work, and there's been some times I've fallen off and had some relapses. They've been on air,
but you get back up and you keep working on your project. You've built
right.
something with your life, that you continue to do and build on and work and add to every fucking day. Like,
well, that's what it takes.
You're blessed. It's a gift, gifts and burdens. It's like,
that's right. I always say that there's The gift and the curse.
Yeah,
with the kill
everyone has
stream.
their cross to bear. Everyone has their cross to bear.
But there's been more gifts than curses, I'll say.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of
Yeah.
people who care for me. I got a lot of people who hate me too, who'd like to see me dead, quite
Yeah.
frankly. But you know, there's a lot of genuine love for me from the viewers and
Yeah.
people who watch me for 10 years now almost.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you host a show for 10 years and you know, that's the type of thing that you build up. That's a
Yeah.
special bond, really, with the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And so, I don't think they have that though. Their audience seems more.
They hate that there's no love
voyeuristic, that
towards
they-
them.
Yeah,
Their audience, their core audience is people who want to feel morally superior to Ben and who want to fuck Grace. That's it. And then the people in Discord is funny. No one liked me until I like totally freaked out on Ben. And then the Discord loved me, and I was just in there earlier, completely ratioing Grace on her own Discord. I would type something and get like 20 hearts and laughing things. She'd type something and get nothing. Her own Discord fucking hates her. Damn.
well, I'm still in there actually, and I see it.
They banned me. They banned me.
Oh, did they ban you? They'll probably ban me now that I said that. But
Are you in my Discord? Mine's been popping up a little bit.
no, send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send that. I have the link. It's like on my YouTube, I think. There's like an open link. I think I have.
I've been
reopened it.
trying to use Discord more. I'm not exactly a huge fan, but
Same. It's really good for networking and
yeah, it's
like
true.
connecting with other people. And
You almost have
also
to
just
use it
for
as a
interaction.
streamer sometimes. So like I have to be on there sometimes. But
yeah.
but yeah, I think send it to me. I'll join for sure. Total Ruby victory. Ruby is great. I see in the chat. Who would watch this guy for 10 years? LOL. Inside joke chat. Don't worry. Stacy's been around for a bit herself. We've had our ups and downs too. You know. But I don't know where else to take the conversation, really. Where do you see it headed?
I see it headed that Ben is going to go to jail. This can't carry on the way they've been doing it. If he's not going to get a job, not pay child support, they're living in an RV. It's going to be winter. I don't know what they don't have a game plan. And Grace is really freaked out that they don't have a game plan. But Ben believes he has special powers from God. So and she
He does believe
too.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
thinks he
she
had a
believes that-
vision or whatever, and the Joan and the Abel thing and all this stuff, and he thinks.
Oh yeah,
he's
and he
it.
thought that God sent me to him, and I have a little God psychosis too, so I was like on the same page.
Yeah, and they had this thing with Milo Yiannopoulos, and they thought he was speaking to them as well. Milo totally blew him out of the water, of course. We had the privilege of having that on the Killstream, actually.
We watched one of the nights I was with him in a hotel room. We were like watching that just for fun. We watched the Milo thing.
Yeah, Milo totally. I mean, him versus Milo is like, you know, a shark versus I don't even know, a goldfish, right? Like, I mean, there's no contest. But Ben doesn't think that way. Ben thinks he's some kind of titan of intellect, or you know, some kind of superstar.
Yeah, and he's not smart. And he's
No, true.
I had a lot of really interesting conversations with him, and they made friends wherever they went. Like they're kind of like a dichotomy, you know. It's like they got all these great qualities. I mean, some of the best people are kind of like savants. Like they are so fucked up, but they have these really charming qualities. That's how they get away with being fucked up, honestly, because of that. So
I wouldn't know anything about
what
that.
it is. Me neither. I'm sure we could charm our way out of anything, man.
I wouldn't know anything about that. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't see how else it ends either.
I told her my apartment is open for her to stay in my living room anytime. I don't hold a grudge, you know. I don't care what she said about me on whatever Burn Bridge stream. The great thing about having a channel like mine, where I'm so open about my addiction and all my issues, is I got nothing. You got nothing on me. Nothing that I haven't already put out there myself. So their burn video, it just didn't land. I got more videos more viewers than them during my interview when they were trying to do a burn stream on me. But
well, that's the thing about me too. It's kind of hard to to slimeball me because like all my shit's out in the street anyway, and it's like ain't a lot of it's not true, but you know some of it is. And it's like what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Dirty me
just
up?
Try to be better,
right? Like,
try to be better.
Yeah,
that's why I call it my Discord. The general chat is the upward spiral. It's all about don't be in the downward spiral, go in the upward spiral. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do actually, and that's what I'm trying to do myself, and done it several times. Don't want to have.
Well, but you're doing life. You're still winning. You're still living life. You're still getting by. You're still doing your show, regardless of all these like fuck ups. And sure, there's setbacks, but you keep on trekking and keep on trying, and that's how you win in the end. Is you just never give up.
That's exactly right. And I couldn't say it better myself. And the stream, I'm going to find it. I have it on a hard drive over here somewhere. The stream I did with you about addiction is still one of my favorite streams of all time. And I did it as a bonus episode on Patreon. I wish I would have done it just as a regular kill stream now. But
we could do an updated one because a lot has happened since then.
Yeah, I would definitely be
I had
down.
a pretty epic relapse myself, so.
Yeah, I would definitely be down to do that, and we could do it on your channel if you want, or here,
sure,
either one. I guess I don't want to drag it out because I feel like we covered pretty much everything here.
I mean, I have so much hope for Grace. She does have she's a fighter too, and I see her coming out on top in the end. I just hope it would be sooner than later. I hope it's not when she's my age, but it might go down that way. We don't know. We'll find out. But I still have love for them. It's not all hate. It's a complicated situation. Even Ben himself is like a product of like familial abuse being passed down generations, mental illness. So it's like, I don't know. I don't want to excuse any behavior because it's unacceptable. He could fucking kill Grace. He's 6'8". You can't punch a girl like that. Like, I don't know what he did to make her face look like that, but it was not okay. And there's no other explanation than him. It just seems so obviously him. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah,
he didn't give me another explanation, so that's it.
And you made a good point too. He's a really big guy, and like he could. I mean, she's like what 5'11" herself, but she's pretty tall herself. But he could do some serious damage, even if it wasn't like fully intentional to do that much damage. Or you hit somebody and they fall and hit their head. There's a lot of tragic stories out there. People die. I mean, I'm just being honest.
And there would be like a full true crime fucking shit about it. You already see it happening. It's like, are they going to interview us? Like, I just don't want that to be the outcome, man.
Well, as much shit as I talk, I don't want that to be the outcome either. But it could be.
I know. That's where it looks like it's heading. And it sucks. I really did enjoy collaborating with them, and I considered them my friends. They told me I was their only friend for a while, and now Grace is saying that she never liked me, blah blah blah. It was all acting.
Oh yeah, hey, that's what she said about me too.
Yeah. I guess if that was acting, I still like you because wow, I'm impressed. Great
actress.
Like I'm blown the fuck away, and I want to hand you a Grammy myself because that would be insane. I really like Grace. I really like Ben. I'm really upset with the whole situation, but I'm not gonna keep trying to toe a line to stay on good terms with them. If it involves lying, I'm not gonna lie. And
I think that's very respectable. And I think, like I said, I think we covered it all. What are you working on?
So I've been I actually, through like hanging out with Ben and Grace, I got much more into live streaming. So I've done just a lot of like IRL streaming, and I have 2 shows now. I do Ruby Tuesdays at 7, and I do like interviews there. You should be one of the interviewers. Maybe you could be the next one.
I'll be down.
And then I do Celebrity Sundays, which is just like a call-in show. So I've been like really, especially since I lost my job, like I've been doubling down on YouTube. I did get demonetized. I'm gonna appeal it, but
why?
I've been really. I don't
Anonymous said
fucking
$3 give us a
know,
big
dude.
smile
Like
thing.
it's they said reused content, but all I've been doing all summer has been like live stream. So that's for smile.
Yeah, they did. They asked for a big smile. Yes. There you go. You got a few smiles. And yeah, I'll be down to do that for sure. Now we may have to cross stream.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Because my show's so long, but yeah, I'd be down. I would love to do that actually. And we talked.
Well,
about
if you're
doing
free
something.
tomorrow, because I was gonna cancel tomorrow's episode just because I'm so drained. But I was thinking of pulling someone last minute.
What time is the
7.
show? Because I got Colonel Kurtz tomorrow. I'll do it next week. How about it?
Yeah, we could do next week. It's I usually do 7, but it's flexible.
Yeah, because I got Colonel Kurtz coming on, and she's been debunking a lot of this Marilyn Manson allegation stuff.
Oh, I can look into that.
And so we're gonna go through some of that tomorrow, probably around that same time, or else I would just do it tomorrow. But you could book me in for next week, and I'll be down for that.
All right, sounds like a plan. 7 Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what time zone you're in. I forget. But.
Killstream time is always based on EST. I'm actually in what's called Mexican Standard Time, which is Mountain Time, which is really weird considering the part of the world that I'm in right now.
Yeah, wait, so what time is it for you right now? It's 6:16 here.
Yeah, it's 4:16 here.
Oh, so you're like 2 hours earlier.
But on my computer it says 6:16 because I operate on EST time
weird.
for the show. Yeah, so
that's so interesting. Does that ever like throw you off? Like
sometimes it has thrown me off. Yeah, especially when booking people in Mountain Time because I forget that I'm in Mountain Time. Yeah. So. Mexican Standard Time. They got rid of daylight savings as well here in Mexico. Oh. So until we fall back, I'm 2 hours behind. And once the U.S. falls back, I'll only be 1 hour behind, which I much prefer being.
That'd be behind. A little closer.
Because when you're 2 hours behind, I have to get up an hour earlier. I have to do everything earlier, and it's just it's a little bit different. So, but I really appreciate you coming on, and I already knew you're about as honest as they come when it comes to talking about anything in your life. And that's why I enjoyed our previous interview so much. And I thought the JLP debate was a lot of fun. And then...
fun fact, sad fact. So in that interview, I had a pet beta fish. And I had like in the background, I was like, look at beta. It was like a little... That beta fish committed suicide due to harassment from Benjamin Thorp. It died 2 days ago when all this shit popped off. So it had a good run of 4 years beta fish.
Yeah, and I think you did mention that in that.
You remember that?
Actually, yes, you did.
We've come full circle.
You know what? I'm gonna pull that interview out. It's on that hard drive over there. Yes. Stop being a commie.
I did stop being a commie. I'm like basically like a fucking turf Nazi now. So I don't know what you want.
That's what he wants.
You got it.
Ruby Spacek, plug your channel, please.
Yes, it is Ruby Spacek on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere you can find me with that name. Thank you so much, Ralph. It was really good talking to you, and
great.
I'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday is booked. All right, see you then.
All right, bye.
Bye. Have a good one. There she goes, Ruby Spacek. Where